but we're gonna, there's a
I think
cheeseburger
it
in
was
Lila.
implied.
So we're gonna roll over to Lila. We can't, we can't check in our place until like 3 or 4, so.
Yeah, that's funky, huh?
Yeah.
You're gonna be there early,
We're gonna get there,
9 AM.
we're on a 7 AM flight.
Yeah, you'll get there at 9 AM.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with us. I'm like, great, what do we do for 5 hours, 6 hours?
I know.
Thank you for all that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Did you go to Mountain?
I think those are all the things that are relevant to what you have.
Yeah.
Some senior sounds, some
Not enough.
guides.
Yeah.
Those are senior sounds,
This would
and
be
then
perfect.
the public swim stuff. And then blues and brews as well.
Yeah, this would be perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, it's 7. Are we ready? Are we recording?
We will be in just 1 second.
Recording. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Pleasant Hill Recreation and Park District Board of Directors meeting for May 30th, 2024. It is 7 PM. We're at the district offices. Let's see, roll call. All directors are present, except for Director Worst is absent tonight
With an excused absence.
with an excused absence. Thank you. Next is item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask Director Bernardo to lead us. Join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving along to item 3, public comment. Provides an opportunity for members of the public to comment on any item within the jurisdiction of the board that is not on the agenda. Do we have any?
We do not, I did not receive any emails, and we do not have any public comment cards.
All right. Seeing there are none, we will now close public comment and move on to item 4. Reports and presentations.
Can you go see it? Can someone go see his cast
I
ready?
think our crowd is best.
Good. Think so.
Oh, and oh, they're hiding in the corner.
Yeah, they're waiting.
Yeah.
They weren't sure if they were gonna have to file in one at a time.
Right here with them?
Yeah, we're gonna put you here. Here to start. Come on in, Kat, you can go.
Oh, I.
Oh, this is a dream job.
I'm just organizational helper.
Much better presenting than I am.
Come on up, Drew.
Take a seat or?
Yeah, take a seat. I would like to introduce Drew Pitcher, our recreation coordinator for teams, and I believe Drew's gonna do the honors.
Yeah, sorry, I just got out of softball. I'm out of breath.
Playoffs.
Playoffs, I just hit a home run and who won? So-
Thank you all for being here.
All right, I'm here to present our lovely teen council members. First we have Jack, he goes to College Park. He
Come stand by Drew.
is in grade 9. His favorite event he volunteered at was our Christmas holiday festival. And he is going to come back next year, and he just completed his first year on teen council. Next up, we have Olive Chase over there in the corner. Olive goes to Valley View Middle School. She is in 8th grade. She enjoyed volunteering for the Christmas craft projects, and she will be back next year. And she just completed her 2nd year of teen council. Next, we have Carlina. Come on up. She is in 11th grade. She goes to Crondelet High School. She just completed her 1st year of teen council. And her favorite event was the car wash. And she will be returning next year. Next up, we have Maddie Dunbar. She goes to Pleasant Hill Middle School. She's in 7th grade. She enjoyed the holiday festival the most. She will be returning next year, and she just completed her second year of teen council.
Awesome.
I think I'm gonna butcher it. Avery? Giada? Giada, I know. The pressure is on. Avery Giada. She goes to Sequoia Middle School. She is in 7th grade. She enjoyed all of the events. She will be returning next year, and she just completed her second year on teen council. Next up, we have Natalie Smith. She goes to College Park High School. She's in 11th grade. She enjoyed the Easter egg hunt the most. She will be returning next year, and she just completed her first year on teen council. Next, we have Mara Ilhan,
The chair.
the chair. Excuse me. She is in 11th grade. She enjoyed the car wash the most. And she will be returning next year, and she just finished her first year of teen council. Next we have Lila, our ex-officio co-chair. She is also,
The co-chair.
yeah, ex-officio and co-chair. She is in 11th grade, attends College Park. She enjoyed the car wash as well. She will also be returning next year, and she just completed her first year of teen council. That is everybody.
Anybody else can make it?
Thank you very much. I'm impressed that all these people are here.
They make me look good.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Thank you and congratulations for all the work that and fun that you have on teen council. It's I like seeing what happens with teen council and some of the trips that you go on or day trips or what's coming up. I thought, oh man, we didn't have that.
We're definitely learning a lot together
Yeah.
at the same time. So,
Great. And thank you, Drew.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
There might be other board members. who want
Yes,
to
I know. I'm going to, anybody want to go ahead and I'll go to Director Renata? Thank you.
Well, Laura and Lila, I'm sure it was a very energetic year this year. You've got a great crew. It's wonderful that so many of you like the car wash. I think that was just really outstanding. I want to thank your parents as well for giving us for all that you do for the district, the volunteering that you do, the support that you provide, and I'm very also impressed with the fact that many of you have not been on council that long. So it's kind of like, rejuvenation after COVID.
Yeah.
Coming back and really reinstituting this organization. And it's very impressive to those of us who sit on the board, all that you do for us. So thank you.
Any other directors?
Oh, no, I echoed the same thing. I thought it was so cool that there were so many of you that were first year, people on the council. That's fantastic. And then, always nice to see some Jaguars and Falcons out there. And then, also see some folks like Pleasant Hill Middle, Sequoia representing. But, really, I mean, all of us, we're looking for you all to replace us here someday. So we're very appreciative of your involvement in the community and hope that you go off to do great things and, maybe come back and help out the Rec and Park District when you get a little older.
Vice Chair Tran.
I echo everything that they said as well too, not only your commitment to the district, but to the community at large. And that you're not only doing stuff that will help us, but also becoming role models for those coming behind you. Because there are a lot of younger kids as well too that I say this a lot, that the demographic of Pleasant Hill is changing quite a bit. And it's a lot of young families that have come in. So to have such great role models such as yourselves, it's a wonderful thing to see. So thank you so much for all you do.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You're welcome to stay for our next item.
Is there any air in here?
Yeah, I think Lance wanted to go try.
Yeah, Lance was trying.
Trying.
Okay.
It's down, but yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't seem to be
Great.
working very well.
Thank you. Our next item is 4.2, report from our ex-officio teen council representative, Lila Nikolich from College Park High School.
Okay. Teen Council recently held a car wash at the teen center. It was very successful. We raised $320. Next year, we want to start off the year with a car wash to get into the group of things because it was a really good fundraiser and it's easy to do. The College Park baseball team made it all the way to the semifinals of NCS, but unfortunately lost to De La Salle. Softball made it all the way to finals after their win against Liberty Lions, but unfortunately lost against Amador Valley. However, they're still moving on to the championships, and this is the first time in softball history at College Park that they have moved on to the CIF championships. Band had their Pops concert on May 17th, and it was a hit. There was a great crowd, and the band sounded amazing. Choir had their Pops concert last Friday night at 7 p.m. They had rehearsals all week. The show was sold out and spectacular. Furthermore, around 50 choir students are leaving the day after school ends to go to New York where they will perform at Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
Finally, leadership hosted the Moving Up rally last Friday during the school day. There was a student dance, teacher dance games, and an end of the year slideshow. Graduation for our seniors is tonight, May 30th, which is followed by finals May 31st, June 3rd, and June 4th. Then the school year is officially over. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any board members have any comments for Lila?
No, unfortunately, the softball team lost today, but they had a great, it was the first time in school history that the softball team made it to the NorCal championships and hosted a game today, but another hard fought 3-2 loss,
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
the North Coast section final. That's super cool.
Any other comments, questions?
And one of our employees is a coach for the College Park. He's an assistant coach at the College Park softball team, Jose Martinez.
Oh,
So
okay.
congratulations to Jose.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, thank you for all your efforts during the year, Lila. It's been nice to have an ex officio this year.
She'll be back next year.
She had no choice.
That's it. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's roasting.
Yeah, I know, we had it on cool, it was at 68 on cool, so I don't know what's going on, so Lance is looking for a fan, so.
This door used to open.
It does open, it's just loud, that's the only
Oh,
problem,
'cause
yeah,
the-
because of the stream, so, yeah.
We're out there.
Yeah, we open that door, so we just tried, we can open it a little bit, I just don't want it, which might be just too loud because of the stream.
Well, let me know, so the store's open now?
Yeah.
Okay, I can.
Yeah, I mean, you can get some cross breeds if you want to.
Next item is our report 4.3, report from our general manager.
Great. I have a written report, but I have a couple of things I wanted to update you on. First, I put in front of your seat an updated page 2 of the thing. I don't know if you noticed when you read, when I changed it to a PDF, I didn't notice that the photos of the Aloha Night covered up the words of the Aloha Night. And so it looked like it was just Aloha Family Recap in the photo. And so that's actually the recap of the thing. So I just wanted to make sure that you all had that. I just also wanted to say that the sales for tickets to Blues and Brews is outpacing last year, so that's good. We have more sales to date than we did last year at this time, so that's a good sign. People are excited about Blues and Brews again. I want to shout out to the aquatics staff, especially since I have 2 of them here, for a great kickoff to the 2024 aquatics season. We had a great response to our free admission for the pool on social media and a great turnout this weekend. And even though it wasn't super hot, but it was hot enough to have lots of people to come out and people are excited to use the spray ground. The fences look nice around the spray ground so that we can keep those toddlers, kind of a little closer in and corralled, so the parents only have 2 exits to deal with instead of the entire thing into the pool. So I think that was a creative, thanks Lance and his staff for installing that. I think that's a creative way to kind of block in the spray ground. And so that was great. I know that Corey and her staff are preparing for a very busy summer. The free admission to the pool was our highest producing social media post ever on anything we've ever done. And I've got lots of people talking, lots of people coming out to the pool. So I think it's fantastic. So it'll be great summer. So excited about that. So as long as the spray ground, knock on wood, stays functional, then that would be great. And then I just want to give an update, just a brief update. We had to take advantage of our bilingual incentive pay. We've had 4 employees test for Spanish. I have one I'm waiting a score on, and I have 2 that did pass the test, one for tier 1 and one for tier 2. So we have a number of employees who are taking advantage of that we'll be able to use in the future. So very excited about that. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Do directors have any questions? General Manager Lacy.
And thanks for the update about the bilingual program too. That's awesome.
Any questions? Questions? Okay. I have one question. I saw the new event made.
Yeah.
Is that going to be available to sign up for soon?
Soon, yeah.
Great. It sounds like fun.
We're very excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay, since we've got no questions, we will move on to 4.4, and we've got 2 new full-time employees. Yeah. To meet.
It is my pleasure to introduce our 2 newest employees. We have Taya, there was an error on the agenda, Taya Denny.
Oh.
This is Taya over here, it's not Denning, I keep saying Denning, but it's Denny. And then, so Taya is our recreation coordinator for Aquatics. So she is responsible for all the activity at the pool, and will spend a good portion of her summer on deck. Taya comes to us from the city of Berkeley, where she worked there and then now works for us. And so we're very excited to have Taya. And then Ainsley Pearce. Ainsley is our administrative assistant for human resources. Ainsley has been tasked with getting all our onboarding and keeping up with paperwork and doing all of the things. She's taken on a portion of what Julie used to do as the accounting and human resources supervisor. Ainsley grew up working for us part-time. She used to work in the teen program. So she kind of grew up. Ainsley applied for a number of full-time positions with us.
Yes, I did.
And then she kind of found her niche here as the administrative assistant for human resources. She's been knocking it out of the park and keeping us all on the straight and narrow, making sure all of our paperwork is correct before people start. So Ainsley's a local girl, and we're proud to have Ainsley on staff full time now. So, Corey, did you want to say anything about Taya coming on?
I have just been so thrilled to have Taya. She has been here a month and a half, and she's been in charge now of the staff schedule, and she has just taken it on. It's been a big relief to me to not have that on my shoulders and let me focus on some other areas. So it's been great to have her. She's met most of the staff. Some of our summer staff haven't come back yet, but working with all of the staff really well. And I'm thrilled to have her.
And then did either of you want to say anything?
Just really excited to be here. It's gonna be a good summer.
Me too. It's really great to get to serve the community you grew up in. I grew up playing in the parks and learned to swim here. So very grateful for the opportunity.
So Taya, how do you spell your last name? Is it
Denney?
E-Y? Okay. Sure.
That's what I get for not looking at it. Trying to go
It's
from memory.
okay.
The human resources person didn't.
That's what, no, I didn't ask her to review the. I've been saying Denny from like day 1, so gotta unlearn it.
Anybody have any questions?
I'm just delighted to have both of you here. It's wonderful, Kaya, to hear Corey's effusive comments about you. That's just wonderful. Our aquatic program is so underutilized, and I think that the idea that we're going to have free swim, for public swim this summer is a great way to get people to focus on this facility so that we can talk about the fact we need to replace this facility. So that's just really, really, really cool. So you're shouldering a lot, so we really appreciate all that you do. Actually, you and I first met, I think, when you were sitting in the behind the plexiglass, So are we giving you an office now, or are you still gonna be sitting?
Ainsley has an office, yeah, so, yeah, Ainsley is, she's in an
I'm
office.
sorry,
yeah.
Ainsley.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah, she worked part-time in various capacities for us for a while.
Yeah, we've met a few times,
Yes, we
yeah,
have.
so I'm in, what was Julie's office, and I can still call it Julie's office, and I need to call, so.
It's now Ainsley's office.
All right, so now we know where to find you.
Yeah,
Well, welcome.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. for your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time to come so that we could put name to the faces, face to the name. And we appreciate both of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris.
Welcome, I don't feel like you have to stay.
Yeah, we will move on to,
Thank you, everyone.
bye. Thank you, good to see you. Next. Shuffling.
Yeah, the shuffling when they had so many people in the, in the
Yeah,
audience,
Chris.
so.
Next is item 4.5, receiving a report regarding the district's financial statements ending March 31st, 2024. And Chris Petlock.
Good evening, directors. Like you had a full house, feels like pretty full in here too.
Yes.
So tonight we're asking the board to receive and review third quarter statements as of March 31st. You can see in the staff report, district seems to be kind of moving along according to budget. The district is in a great cash position. It seems like we are moving along with the capital program, and as the board had directed, we have Lance here, he can probably speak to that a little better than I can, but as far as the monetary value goes, it seems like things were just really moving along. Sorry, that was a little strong. Feedback from the managers is that both revenue and expenses seem to be kind of as they expect. And I'm here if you have any questions about anything.
Somebody's making up the thing. No, it's somebody else. I know, I thought it was a cat.
Yeah, something.
I do wanna mention, so it may, so we're, 3/4 of the way done. So our operating revenue is at 60%, but we collect a lot of revenue in that May, June, in that fourth quarter, so we're on track. And looking at our collected revenue, so that's revenue that's sitting in unearned revenue, so it's money we've already received, but we haven't posted it to the GL, we will exceed our revenue projections, so in pretty much everywhere. So I just wanted to point that out. And then in the expenses, we're at 3/4, basically at 3/4. Just remember that a lot of our expenses happen in that first quarter of the year because it's the end of summer camp. We have, a month in June as well after school's out, but we're on track there as well. So just wanted to remind everybody of that. So.
Any questions? Chris? Record nine.
Well, that was my main question, more than 60% of revenue, 75% of expenses, so you answered that. I look forward to that evening out.
Yes.
So right now, if I read this, we're about $500,000 ahead.
Yeah.
We're currently sitting, is that?
Yeah, about that.
Correctly?
Yeah.
Would we expect that to improve or would we expect that to decrease?
I think we'll be close to that.
We're kind of light on staff.
Yeah,
That was kind of my feeling.
Yeah, we saved quite a bit in staff in salaries in this last quarter, because, we had 2 people retire that were fairly high paid employees, so we're fairly light on the staff. So I think we'll come in a little better than projected. And so, it's really gonna depend on our second property taxes, where that falls. But we received more than we expected in the first installment, so we usually get half, so I'm expecting that we probably will get more as well.
And I put that, as I wrote this, we had already collected most of that, about 2.3 million had come in that first mid-April, something like that. So we were already well in the black again as I was writing the staff report, kind of looking.
But it doesn't, it's not reflected in these numbers yet.
Yeah,
because
because the March 31st is the cutoff, and a couple of weeks later, we received that second half of the property tax collected and L&L and all the other stuff kind of comes in.
And this reflects our CalPERS supplemental payment.
Yes,
Is
that
correct?
happens in July. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the right time to ask, or whether to wait until end comments, but we had talked about getting the CIP report in spreadsheet form in
Yeah.
writing. Is that something that?
Yep, you'll get that in
to see?
June. Yeah, in June, yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, both the land and facilities committee and the budget committee will get it first, and then it'll come to the full board, so.
thank you.
Any other comments, questions? No other comments or questions, we don't need to vote on this, we're just receiving your report. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm available.
Very clear.
Questions.
If anything else pops up, we can contact you.
Do it.
Thank you, Chris.
I go ahead. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Right.
The AC.
All right,
Thumbs up.
Sums up.
item 4.6 is a verbal report regarding the annual California Association of Recreation and Park District conference that 4 of us were able to attend with our general manager. Last week, May 22nd, started that evening, and it was done on Friday evening. And Vice Chair Tran put together some slides, and Michelle was able to print them
I
out.
printed them because
Yeah.
IT got rid of my wireless display, so I can't show
Yeah, I'm
it
gonna have you
there.
go first.
Yeah.
So. And I think we'll let Vice Chair Tran give his thoughts, and then Director Bernardo and I can chime in, and also General Manager Lacy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
yeah, okay, thank you so much. I'm gonna follow the same format that I did last time, and sort of the general comments that was a pretty well run conference. It was a little different than I expected, because the one that I went to last year had a different focus than this year. So, but I still wanted this presentation to be sort of fun and welcome to bring back the learn, at least from a district perspective. So I'm going to focus on 2 topics, so you guys can fill out the rest of the topics. So the 2 that I chose to focus on, which I think would be fun to just hear about and just look at some of the slides that I have, is 1 is creating a safer workplace. So we talked about workplace violence, which was an important topic. And 2, a couple of new trends that we're seeing in play. So I thought that would be fun just to have here. So creating a safe workplace. So the presentation that was presented focused on a whole host of different threats to public agencies. They focused a lot on active shooter incidents, but other types of violence as well too. The thing that I was particularly interested in, though, is not just what is the law enforcement response or whatever other types of administrative responses, but what kinds of things we could do in the design process to make our spaces more safe, or actually actively design things so that it deters crime. So they only had 1 line in there, but it caught my attention because I like to pick out little things in presentations. But they talked about, it's kind of a 4th slide there. It's pronounced CEPTID, so it's crime prevention through environmental design. And then the way it's described, they didn't actually talk about it too much during the presentations, so I had to go and look that up a little bit more. Was that it's an approach, it's a multidisciplinary approach to crime. And this is their official evidence. They use urban and architectural design and management of built and natural environments to have that. In other words, they also call it sort of designing out crime, which is kind of an interesting concept. How do you make your built environment in such a way that you can actually deter crime? So you have 5 sort of major principles in that. So that's the natural surveillance, social management, maintenance, territorial reinforcement, and natural access control. Kind of vague. So I actually got some nice pictures on what does that actually look like in actual architectural design. So you can see your 5th slide, you have sort of a schematic on what a building may look like. We actually try to design something, especially if we're going to go for on and maybe even have built out some particular structures. I've never actually heard these concepts discussed in any of our board meetings. I thought this could be something that we could potentially incorporate after, if we are successful with the bond, to maybe think about or be more thoughtful in how we design our public spaces so that it actually deters some crime and maybe make people a little bit more safe. And so I won't go over all the components. That is basically the 5 principles that are in there. But what I wanted to show was actually what does it look like in real life. So I have a couple of examples of CEPTED in action. So the first one is on slide 6. It's an example of this was built intentionally with safety in mind, really trying to deter crime. So I actually know this place in Sacramento. This is the Power in Alliance, which is basically an alliance of the city, businesses, a whole bunch of things along this corridor called Power in that used to live nearby that area. And this is their headquarters. And the way that they designed, so if you do it well, you can't tell that it was designed with safety in mind, right? So these low-lying maintenance so that you can actually see through these very large windows. It's controlled access, right? Basically, right? It's a single walkway to like a main entrance so that you actually know, but that walkway is actually surrounded by a lot of offices. So basically, they talked about surveillance or eyes on the ground, right? If a lot of people are seeing things, people become nervous when they want to try to commit crime, right? Lots of big windows, low maintenance, not all places to hide. These are also the built environments, but in addition to sort of built environment, there's also a social component to it. How staff are, go around the building, how they interact with one another, how they interact with the public-private division between the space that's supposed to be private and sort of the public spaces as well too. So it's the design as well as the social components of it that have actually makes it work. So it's kind of an interesting time if we ever wanted to visit it, if we design stuff. This is kind of one of the examples of CEPTED in action. Slide 7 is a high school, which is really cool as well too, because I haven't seen any high schools built this way before, but very similar concept, right? Very low vegetation, control point of access, right? You have to kind of follow that. Lots of windows, big windows that we say surrounding us, lots of eyes going forward, like one entryway essentially. And then that front door basically is monitoring control as well too. We have to come funnel through that area. And so even though it doesn't look like this was built with safety in mind, it actually is built with safety in mind. Now, designing it won't deter everything, but it actually adds a layer of safety that we can, that we can add to that, right? I think one of the things that talk about safety, if you add seconds, you save lives, right? You just want to force it so that it's harder to do a crime. Everything you add, every layer you add, this is basically the kind of layers that you add to it that makes it a little bit harder, adds those extra seconds that actually law enforcement and others can come to the scene as well too. So control the access, you have lots of lighting, you have lots of windows, people sort of hesitate a little bit in that kind of environment. So that's all it takes, just to add a few seconds to that. So I thought that was kind of interesting in terms of this particular concept. There's a lot of slides I have on that, because I wanted to focus on that particular part, but I'll go in a second, but anybody have any questions or thoughts on some of those?
One of the things that impressed me in that presentation was the notion that a bad person is going to not stop and try and enter something that's difficult to get into.
Right.
They're going to keep going because they know they have this finite amount of time before they get stopped.
Yeah.
And so they're going to do the easiest things.
Yeah.
So finding ways to prevent access when something happens struck me as being just a key element of what they were talking about. Make it hard. Make it hard for them.
Yeah, they don't want to think, there's a plan. And I picked up on that as well too. And so anything that sort of disrupts, remember that circle, they were saying that if you disrupt that circle of thinking, then they have to go back and then recalculate that. So whether it's a locked door or just a few seconds of, I'm not sure I don't want to do this because now everybody can see me, right? Or somebody said, what are you doing here? Or you control, whatever it is, right? To just interrupt that for a few seconds, you break that thinking loop. You have to restart. So I think we can be intentional. The odds are low, but we know that it's one of the things that always gets on the news. And we want to definitely be prepared in some way.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, anything, sorry.
I just wanted to mention that we have had the Pleasant Hill PD has a number of employees who are certified in CEPTED.
Oh, great.
And so we have had multiple reviews of all of our parks. Obviously there's some, large shrubs and things, but we've made a number of changes based on their recommendations for lighting and things like that. I don't disagree that, future planning, we definitely need to look at that from the start. But I also wanted to make sure that when we do get our draft security plan, it's TED as a lens. So you will talk more about SEPTED and our current facilities with our security plans.
That is awesome, yeah. I wish they talked, it wasn't a lot of time in the conference, but at least that one line sort of brought my interest, and so I'm glad that, we're doing it at some degree, and then maybe we can incorporate it more as we sort of move forward in the design process. So that's one part I wanted. So the second thing I wanted to focus on is sort of these new trends in play equipment. This wasn't part of the didactic portion. This was more of the vendor component. I spent a lot of time just hanging out with them and just learning about what's going on in play equipment. So there were three themes that I saw that was really prevalent. It was common amongst all the different vendors. So one, use of natural material is making a huge comeback, and so a lot of different vendors were offering that as material. Two, climbing ropes seems to be a huge thing coming up, and that we understandably because it's fun and it's kind of a unique thing. And then three is the inclusive play. We've always been doing this, but some of the thoughts in and around what it's like, I think, has been changing over time. So I have a few just fun pictures to look at that are really cool. So one, the natural material. So first one I have is the Mokuyama, which is a Japanese art form, building form, basically, where they create these huge logs and create these large structures so that you can climb really high, so that big kids can have lots of fun. But they also have very low structures as well too, things you can kind of go in and out of. It's fun for little kids. So it's a whole range of kids. So we often say this is a 2 to 5 year old play area, 6 to, this is really allowing all the kids to play in this area, and it's relatively safe. And I think it's but to be honest with you, but it's kind of a neat way to put natural material in an amorphous design that really encourages. It's not these plastic structures, essentially. It's just something that is really incorporated into the environment. So I thought that was really fun. The next slide on there is if you wanted to build something a little bit more temporary, like big slides and stuff. I thought this was a great idea. It's like combining rope climbing structures with this huge slide. This is also natural material. Can't make natural material out of slides, of course. So that's recycled plastics, if I understood them correctly. But the only way to get to the top of the slide is to climb through this rope structure, which is awesome, right? Because it's a fun thing. Kids love to stop climbing, but it's a reward at the very top, right? If you go on this huge slide, which I think would be lots of fun. And so almost all that other material, the huge poles, everything's all natural material. My understanding is that it lasts a long time. So I asked them about, say, 25, 30 years at least. So most of this material, very low maintenance for these materials. The other one is sort of a kind of a retreat for kids. I know we've given some examples of retreats. I thought this was a really nicely done job. Little kids can kind of hide out and do fun activities. So I think that was great. I have a couple more other pictures in there. This uses metal, like these sort of towers or pyramids or cubes type of thing. These are more centerpieces, and they're actually not that far. I mentioned most of these are like in San Francisco, Sacramento. These are actually nearby, a lot of these structures. So we could potentially see what it looks like in a park. Because a lot of our neighboring cities are putting these in as well. But these are very popular amongst kids, climbing through these rope structures. They're very, very safe. No kid falls more. The nodes are made in such a way that you wouldn't fall more than, say, a foot or so on any part of the structure. So even this tall 30-foot structure here, at most a kid would fall unless they're like jumping away from the structure. But inside of it, it's very safe. So that's great. It's awesome. And then we talked about sort of what can be a signature structure in Pleasant Hill. I thought these were like one of the things that are really eye-catching. If we didn't like that, the next picture is sort of these sort of low, rather than high, sort of a low climbing structures. So this is rope, and one of the pictures that caught my eye was this green. I don't know if you can see it in there. It's kind of a low rope course. And the reason it caught my eye is because it winds through natural boulders, kind of like what Chimichingo has, and it integrates itself into that whole structure. So instead of just jumping around logs, it's like this rope course that goes through a boulder outlay, which is a really cool idea, I thought. But it integrates sort of play, natural environment, a whole host. So I thought that was cool. So I put that in there as well too. Let's see. So the final thing, inclusive play. So slide 13. It's a climbing structure. And first thing you probably ask is, how is that inclusive play? It's a climbing structure, right? If you look very carefully, On the left side is this yellow dome-like structure. There's a huge entrance there that's actually purposely cut out so you can wheel a wheelchair through there. And so kids can go into there. And if you look carefully, there's these little black squares that you see inside there. It's also in the climbing structure to the right, as well to these little black squares. Those are seats that you can transfer kids into. And so they can get into the structure itself and have the wheelchair nearby as well too, and then be part of the entire play area. And so one of the things that I thought was really interesting about inclusive play was that there's this whole concept of building in the play structures that allows people with disabilities to be part of it, rather than sort of this is your play area versus this is the other people's play area. So it's built into the entire play area. So if you look at the next slide, these are two players basically that have a whole host of accessibility things. But when you look at them, they just look like standard play equipment, right? But if you go through, they actually talk about the width of each of the ramps in there, how wheelchair access can get through each of the parts, a whole host of different things. I'm not an expert in this, but I only put it up there because when you look at it, it looks like just standard play equipment, but it's built with accessibility in mind. And so the kids who have those needs can still play with the other kids. It's not separated out. So I thought it was great. So the idea of integration is really, really powerful. Those are the three big lessons I learned from you. And I thought it was really cool that the vendors were there. They're all willing to talk to me. I don't know how long, but that was really cool. So I brought some of those ideas back to, as we move forward with some potential concepts, we can have these in mind as board members. You can ask more smaller questions, I guess, more sort of presented with potential concepts. That's it. Thoughts?
We're all extraordinarily impressed with your report last time. And I think you've knocked it out of the park again. You seem to have a talent for finding the quality and the forward thinking things that people are offering. I remember standing in lunch line with Queen, and he's so excited about this pamphlet of these wooden peg-like structures, just all natural wood and stuff. And I hadn't even seen it, and he's just going on like, this stuff looks great, anyway. So kudos to you for having the vision that you do, because I sure didn't get that vision as I was walking, through the vendor hall. But you took the time to really, I think, dig into what good quality, forward-thinking equipment would be. And so thank you very much for that extra effort. I feel ashamed to you.
I figured if I was using district model, of course, some lessons learned out of it. And so, and I think I think the quality aspects and all of these components in there are like 25, 30, 40, some of them heavier ones, 50-year type of products. So I think you can build in that kind of, and I'm sure we do, I'm sure that's all we do, but really the vendors now are pushing that. We're going to make this easy for you, so you don't have to maintain it all the way through. So.
Do you have any couple of points?
A couple of points, yeah. I thought the program was, well, I wasn't expecting what was presented. There were some programs I thought I wondered why they were being presented, very entertaining and very interesting, but not quite on target with what we do. The insurance programs I thought were extremely helpful. There was a program on the homeless that I tell everybody that I tell about this program too. It's Tom Bradley with the tie, because both of these gentlemen have huge hearts of dealing with societal issues and in the way that they do. But this program is up in Placer County, where the homeless were camping on without permission on some vacant land where the government said. And they screwed it up the first time they tried to deal with it. So they brought this guy in and or gave him all this responsibility. Basically came up with a temporary tent system that has proved to be extremely effective in getting people out of the melange that you have when you just have this unregulated tent city and into an organized process that is very effective in getting social services to people. The Health and Human Services is involved, the probation department is involved. And the turnover, the move out of people from this tent city into permanent housing is a tremendous tribute, I think, to the vision, in both how he works with people as well as what he's got the Placer County to recognize is, you know, this is a problem isn't going to go away. So how do we manage it? I mean, how do we help people at the same time? So it was a tremendous program. I would, you know, we haven't had a presentation on the homeless issue that we have here. I go around to a lot of parks. I don't see a lot of problems. So I imagine that both our staff and Core are dealing very effectively with it. But it would be good, I think, for us, since we operate the parks, to have a conversation, maybe in the liaison meeting that you're planning, to find out if the city has any plans to provide beds, because that seems to be the key to being able to get people legally moved someplace, is you have to have beds available. And we don't really have any beds in prison. So I'd be curious as a board member to know how the city is going to help us, and is it helping us manage, you know, homeless problem to the extent that we have. So just a thought that came to me out of that homeless presentation. It was wizard. It was just really terrific. The other thing that I took away was the social aspect of all of this, being able to rub shoulders with other board members from North State, South State, you know, kind of brainstorm. There was a roundtable I was able to attend on general manager evaluations. The way general managers are evaluated is as different as the sands on the beach, it seems. But there were some good ideas that came out, and I know Sandy internalized a number of them. So all in all, it was well worth the time spent. And I came away with some snippets of really good things, but also impressed with your ability to really use the vendor core. I mean, I talked to a few people about lighting and was delighted to hear that they all know about Pleasant Hill and are part of our, our general plan and our master plan. But beyond that, I mean, you took the cake as far as I'm concerned in what you got out of this program for us.
Sure.
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you for bringing out the homeless component of it. I think we need to do a little different here. So we contract other cities to do it. So we don't have any shelters, but because of the monies that are shared, the shelters are in different cities, so we don't have any beds here.
And that's lawful.
Yeah, that is lawful. Yeah, as long as it's a contract, right?
Yeah.
Which is the city. So because we just don't have the space. It is. So there is that component, but I did pick up on the same thing as well too, sort of the empathy that was shown, that there have to be rules, and at the same time, these are people with that compassion.
Yeah, there's a carpenter up there.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
But I thought that was a great
Leave it open, Lance.
sort of balance that he had. That
Lance, just leave it open.
But
Kind of
as well too. The one line I liked in there, I thought that was important as well, is a shelter first philosophy. And so it was not all about housing first. I think that eventually we want people to get into that component, but focusing just on that component, because the average cost of housing project for the homeless for each person is $700,000. That was the last number that I saw. And you can imagine their tent camp, right? It held 40, 30,
40,
Yeah.
50, but they said.
yeah. So if they tried to build housing to house 40 people, that would be about $2.8 million, something like that. But that's not the budget.
$600
Yeah.
tents.
Yeah, and so they were high-end tents, and I think they were very true technical tents too, as well too. They were well made and built to that. So the fact that we wanted them to learn life lessons in this environment, which with appropriate shelter that they could call their own, I think that was a very important step. I think all that before they move to the next step of the larger resources of how to get you housed. So I thought that was, and I wish more people would do that. That was helpful for me.
There goes Lance.
He's out.
He went out?
He went out, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Clear screen?
yeah, put the screen on, there you go.
Oh,
Excellent, there you go.
thank
Excellent.
you.
I'm like, he went out, Lance.
Did you have comment?
Yeah, I was gonna, I mean, I thought the homeless presentation about their solution in Placer County was amazing as well. I took the same takeaways as far as the empathy and just, putting people first and that this gentleman, just took that all on and, as a one point of contact and didn't shove it to other people. And I thought his, just kind of his lessons about, that they did it wrong, just moving another tent city and then, finally, and then just teaching people how to live with only what's in their tent and not all these other things. That really was a key to getting them into permanent housing. And so it seems like it's like, oh, why, it's like, why aren't we doing that? And so like literally, I think that everyone should hear his presentation and that should be the model for the governor. And so I did like that. He's like, well, and we have extra tents, so we always have a bed. So if they need to move somebody from a public space, they always have a bed. They can get up another tent in their space and they always have a bed. So they're never gonna tell people that they can't help them. So that was impressive. The GM roundtable, like the board member roundtable, is always very, it's always very insightful. I get lots of ideas from my fellow GMs. I also found a gem in the vendor fair. The Tiny Robots guy came out today and painted lines for our flag football on our field. And it was the best thing ever. We are going to be buying a robot, or I'm going to be requesting.
Explain about it, but that.
Alex, yeah, so there's a robot, it's about yay big, and you basically use a tablet and you can put a field layout on the template anyway, and then you can press go and the robot goes to those GPS coordinates and does it. It did it in 13 minutes. It normally takes Alan hours. 13 minutes is what it took him. And so it's super impressive. And so
Shock the field.
It's so great. And so so you will be getting requests for that purchase as part of your CIP this year, because it will save my maintenance team, especially when we mow twice during the week during the summer. They have to do it and it takes only like 10 minutes to do a softball field. And so
Little chalk softball.
yeah, softball, anything. Chalk softball field, it chalks soccer, it does lacrosse, it does anything you could ever want. And so, yeah, it's literally, and once we get it, we'll do a demo because it's super cool. It was super fun today. So we had lots of people come out, we're chalking field with this lovely robot.
That's awesome.
Like, it was super cool. So that was my find in the vendor fair. I knew all the other vendors and he was brand new and he came out and showed it, and Alan, who does all the chalking, he's like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And even cleaning the machine took like 10 minutes with him explaining all of it, and so it's super great. So we're super excited about these tiny robots. So it was well worth the trip.
The vendor was,
Yeah.
after Michelle was talking to him, the vendor was definitely willing to come out ASAP. And
Yeah, basically, yes. Came out today.
okay.
Spent an hour and a half here with the team, showing them and like literally, so Alan had just markers, because we don't know if we're gonna have enough to play flag football this summer. So he just had corners, and so this guy literally took his pad, he went to each of the corners and he marked them. He basically developed the field we had there and then sent the robot out in it. Did it. The coolest thing ever. I'm not excited about a lot of things yet, but this one's super fun. This one's super fun, so.
Well, I'll kind of close this one off, and it was an excellent conference. I had not been to the Rec and Park District Conference. Was able to network with a lot of people, local, you said Central California, Southern California. Some of these districts are 4 times our size. That was kind of amazing to me that they were so huge. Just met a lot of interesting people. The presentations, I thought in general, were all very good. The 2 roundtables for board members. I do have the sample for the evaluation, so I'm gonna take a look at that. It's a little bit of what we do and some other nice aspects of it, so I'll be looking at that and sharing that with Tran to see what we do, because I do want to get this going at sometime in July. So, definitely the homeless encampments presentation that was probably one of the best ones, just in general. But it was an excellent event. I'd go to another one, just to see what's happening and the changes, because obviously there's changes happening in the rec and park business. So let's see what's on tap next year.
It was nice to have multiple board members there. I usually am there all by myself, and so it was great. All my GM friends usually have board members, so it was like, Michelle, your board members are here. I'm like, I know, and they're meeting lots of people. It was great. It was great to have you all there.
Thank you very much for Derek was there also. I don't know if he enjoyed it also.
We'll put him on a future meeting so he can report out as well.
So he can do that. Before I go on to consent calendar, as far as any public comment on all of the reports, I don't think we have any, so I will close public comment for all of that. And move on to item 5, the consent calendar. We've got several items on there. We have,
I wanted to, because it's okay with the chair, to recuse myself on item 5.6. Because my property is nearby with that assessment district.
yes. You are hereby accused for that particular one.
And I just have a question for the general manager at 5.4.
5.4, okay, the travel, yes, go ahead.
What can we expect overall? And we've approved 2 contracts on the third.
This will be our last contract.
This will be the last.
This will be the last one. I was hoping the last one would be the last one, but we extended the date. We would extend the date, but we have some more time to do some more education. So he's helping staff with some language for a letter to go out to everybody about once the board does place it on, that we're gonna be going out for a bond. And we have a couple of video things that we're gonna be talking about. So basically we're using this time to do more education. And so keeping him engaged, I think, is in our best interest at this point in time. Since we're only a couple of months now, we've already finished May. We're almost into June, so we basically just have 2 more months left. And so, but this will be the last one.
We have through 5.7, excluding 5.6. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar except for 5.6? And also, right? Moved and seconded, all in favor? Oh yeah, you're voting this one.
Yeah.
You're voting on this one.
Yes.
4 and 4 here. And then we will go on to item 5.6.
Let me leave the room with my ears.
Yeah, we're not having a discussion, so I think you're fine. You would if we were having a discussion.
So on 5.6, motion to approve 5.6.
I'll move item 5.6.
I'll second.
Motion and second. The 3 directors, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So the consent calendar
It's 3.
is passed. And we have no public comment on that, so open and close. Public comment on that. We go on to,
We only have, so the verbal reports from the committee chairs. We have a Land and Facilities Development Committee meeting on Monday at 11 a.m. Hopefully the 2 of you can still attend. You'll get your agenda tomorrow. And then the Budget and Finance Committee meeting had to be canceled. One of the perils of using hotel Wi-Fi. I did not get it posted when I thought I hit post and it didn't complete that process, so I didn't realize it until it was too late. So we had to, do that. So
Do you have a tentative date for that?
we do not. I sent some options to the chair and member Worst, but member Worst is out of town right now, so.
All right, and we did have a liaison committee meeting on May 14th.
Yeah,
I
that's
can
right.
give a brief report on that.
We didn't have another meeting since then?
No, but we had a,
Oh, that's right.
Training.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, so I thought the same thing. Just in general, we shared, Michelle did an excellent job of sharing the preliminary conceptual design options for Chilton Cinco. Had a good discussion on that. The members there from the city were Mayor Matt Rinn, Council Member Zach Shess, and City Manager Ethan Bindernagel. And it was General Manager Lacey, Vice Chair Tran, and myself, the district event here. So it worked out well. After we did the conceptual design options, the city shared information about the local government academy, which is starting tonight.
No, next
Next
week.
week. Next week. And they were trying to cap it at 20, and they already had a waiting list for at least one. So I don't know if that was the only person on the waiting list, but it sounded like an excellent process that I'm glad they're doing it again. And they will, the next time around they do it, as Chair Tran brought this up, is incorporating second part in part of that. They will be talking a little bit about how it's different. You know, we're a special district, because a lot of those 20 people probably don't know that. But the next time they do it, they hope to, after this learning, getting back to doing it, they will be adding the district to whatever agenda items they have. Then we talked about, GM Lacey we talked about a little bit of the general obligation bond election coming up, and that we were looking at November instead of August. So there were a few questions on that. Good discussion on that. And then the last item that the city had was sharing information regarding the timeline for updating the zoning code for consistency with the adopted general plan. And that looks like it's not going to, we're having various study sessions between now and the end of the year. And then they expect it probably in early 2025 to be up for.
And that will include the zoning changes, so that we will be able to have our parks by right and not have to go through, through the city's planning process, for the things that we do basically. So we'll still have to go through building permit if we're building something, but for design review and for, rec and park use, we'll be able to, we'll have that in the zoning code by right. So we're creating a park zone.
Was it always going to be linked to the larger zoning?
Yeah. Yeah, it's with all their zoning changes, so yeah. And we've given them some, OSA and her staff has worked on some suggestions, so we've given them suggestions on what we'd like to see.
Vice Chair Tran, do you have any comments about the meeting?
I think you hit all the highlights. It was a productive discussion. I think they were up for having a suggestion.
Yeah, I'd like to see 2 a year, and last year it was October or
Yeah,
November.
November,
I think it was November, and that time frame would fit well because we will have gone through the election and we'll have updates. They'll have updates. So I think it's important that we get them to calendar that November meeting.
yeah, so if we can get some on the calendar.
Yeah.
soon.
I know they don't seem not to have a busy summer, but you never know what happens, so we'll see what happens on that. I'm looking forward to them to doing that next one also. That's it on item 6. We don't have any comments, board announcements. Item 7, and requested staff, Director Donato.
Yeah, it's been so long since we've been together. I attended Laugh, Love and Work, which is an annual program that the Senior Center puts on that brings together a lot of vendors and experts and consultants in the area of elder care, with the focus on also respite care for the caregivers. And lots of great information. I wasn't able to attend any of the presentations, but I understand they were very well received. I had a couple of interests in attending it. I have a kind of an abiding interest in the concern I have about how expensive it is for people to stay in their homes and receive care in their homes. And it has to do with the labor regulations and the hourly wages that have to be paid to caregivers that basically come and stay 24 hours in the home. And so I had a chance. I want to thank, first of all, Holly for escorting me around and introducing me to someone who was interested in my same issue. So my hope is that at least to have an opportunity through others that are interested in the same subject to maybe visit the right regulators in Sacramento to talk about how to find a better balance between what's fair to pay a caregiver versus the extraordinary expense it is if you reach a statement of age. There's just a disconnect there that I think is just really wrong. The other abiding concern or interest that I have is I know that the city of Redondo Beach has a Parks and Recreation department that devotes one of their small community centers to adult daycare for early Alzheimer's patients. And I know that Choice and Aging has a facility. What I don't know, because I know down in Redondo Beach, the waiting list is very long to get on. I don't know if Choice and Aging has a waiting list. And if they do, if that would be something that we could partner with them to perhaps offer something in our senior center, a few days a week, or if we have a facility, I don't know what Winslow is, is being used for regularly and things like that. Again, I recognize that our facility could be limited, but it could be quite a service to the members of our public to put on or to be responsible for that kind of respite care for caregivers as well, so that there's a place that they can leave their loved know that they'll be well cared for just for a few hours to give them the time that they need. So that would be something that I'd be interested in maybe exploring further to see if that is something that fits within our portfolio and a possible partnership. Let's see. I played bocce on Tuesday or Wednesday, and there was quite a party going on at Roger Smith Park. There was this baseball team that whoever organized the thing used just about every part of the park. They had those kids and those adults, and they were doing all kinds of Bobby's party. But anyway, kudos to you. That was an awesome party for your PHBA team.
Yeah, it was with our team coordinator who put it together. He was looking at different locations and he said, "What do you think about Roger Smith?" And I said, "It seems to me that everything, playground, bathrooms, the field, picnic area," and afterwards, every parent there was like, "You got to come to this park more often." I mean, it really hit the show. I mean, yeah, it was
an awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
I was there rather than playing bocce. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that kudos to you and congratulations on a good season.
Thanks.
Yeah. Let's see. I know the teen center had an open house, and I was wondering if at the open house there was any reference to the scholarship program that we have, or if there's going to be any follow-up with the 45 families that attended. If we could mention that there could be a scholarship.
Yeah, I know that Kat promotes that, and we're still looking at options to change that. So hopefully we'll have some breathing. We'll be able to come up for air and focus on that this fall. So
good. I think that'd be a great thing to begin to publicize more. I attended my grandson's preschool graduation. Frank Sullinger Park looked awesome. It was just a wonderful, wonderful location. Again, Miss Katie and Miss Rebecca just did a phenomenal job. It was entertaining, it was fun, it was short, it was just, all in all, it was good. But the park just looked tremendous. It was a great location. Let's see. And lastly, as I've walked around Pleasant Hill Park, I know the fence issue is not resolved
No, we're still.
yet. So I just wanted to remind everybody that the 6 months is coming up, so.
It is, yeah, we're having a hard time, getting a hold of homeowners, so, and we're paying, we're playing phone tagging with one of them who doesn't want the fence to come down at all, and the other one wants it too, so we're working with OSA, and we're trying to get a resolution soon, so.
Thank you.
I think we have a way to let him keep that fence and take the rest of it down. Yeah, it's definitely not easy.
It is not, I knew it was not gonna be. So thank you for staying on it.
Oh, it's just, you know, the softball season's coming to an end and jump right back into Dolphins. We had our first meet last night. Went really well. It's nice to see so many kids, you know, like out there in the team. It always amazes me the amount of volunteer hours that go into, you know, not just PHBA and Dolphins, but all the community sports programs. But it's really good to be out there with the, you know, the PhD emblem, you know, rolling around. So it's really cool. I wasn't able to attend the ethics training because we had our last softball game. So
I will send you the video.
Okay.
Link.
Thank you.
That's your turn.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing all those topics up this month. Today is for American Month. So I did accept the city's proclamation for Solar American Month, whatever Monday that was, the other week. I made some comments as well on healthy aging in place and the importance that the city should place on really helping a significant population in our community. So adult day healthcare, other types of things that allow our citizens to stay here, I think will be would just be great. That's one of the things that we should be thinking about. There's a just to let you know that tomorrow there's an HPI Heritage Month event at the Winslow Center. So I will be attending. And I thank you, Michelle, for giving me this marketing material. I'll definitely pass a lot of this stuff out, especially to people who may not be using a lot of parks programs. So this would be great to kind of just advertise that. I'm looking forward to it because apparently there's a lot of people signed up for tickets. So it's going to be a great event, I think. And then finally, Bobby, Coach Tally convinced us to. So I missed yesterday's meet because we signed up so late. So I told everybody else already at the conference that we went out to try for the mini dolphins because we were okay with not doing any parental stuff. We just wanted, you know, to have my daughter to have fun, but Coach Hayu forbid us from doing that because she's not going to call that mini dolphins. And we're about to like walk away because I want her on the team.
Oh yeah.
And so we had like a day. She gave us one day to decide because it was already 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in. So we decided to do it. But then now I realize it's a lot of volunteer hours. And I have all the worst ones because everybody has signed up already. So I have. So I'll try to get up to the next meet. I think, you know, I'll probably see you out there. So I'm now officially a
board member, family.
Dolphin dad now.
Dad,
You are.
You are a Dolphins dad.
So
I love it. That's awesome.
yeah, so I will be out there. The one thing I'm looking for as well, and I'm glad you brought it up, is it's the inclusivity component of it. And so just in the week, I think I spent 4 figures already, and I'm in a position in my time of life where I can do that. But I didn't come from that kind of background. I was in a very poor immigrant family, very poor, impoverished. And so just recognizing that, you know, not everybody can just drop 4 figures at a drop of a dime, it's like, oh, you know, it's $600 for registration, 500 for the parental hold, you know, on the money, $100 for, or 75, whatever it was for the swim outfit, another 25 to donate, mandatory donations for fundraisers. So in a very short span of time, a lot of money went out. And so I think just talking about, or maybe in other types of sessions, you know, promoting these scholarship programs, we're not excluding people. I think, you know, this is a great program. My daughter actually, in 1 week, she's been in it. She actually loves her coach. I was afraid, I wasn't sure what's gonna happen, but she loves her coaches. She's met a lot of new people, and I think that kind of experience we should be able to have for all of our members. So I'm just trying to keep track of this, but I think it's something we should definitely discuss. It's not cheap or organized sports, so. That's it for me.
Good, great, thank you. Welcome to swim club.
Dolphins down
world.
now. It's cold.
This has been an unbelievably busy month. It just has been one thing after another. I also went to the Laugh, Love and Learn on May 10th. It was very well put together, as always. I was looking for specific information which to provide to my niece, because I have an older brother who's going through some Parkinson's issues and is now in a board and care home at the age of 74, way too young. So, but there's all kinds of information, resources, there's just, you know, there's all kinds of information there. So I was looking for specific things and was able to provide that to my niece and nephew to help them make some decisions. The second thing was liaison meeting, which I've already talked about. The May 17th was the Aloha Family Luau in the Senior Center. Was there at the beginning and saw, you know, all families arriving, and then had to leave, and then came back, and we just missed the dancers. But it was a nice evening. I think they had a great time. Talked to Liz. She, you know, was wondering how it all go, but it went really well. So kudos to the staff for getting that particular event done. And then on Saturday and Sunday, May 18th and 19th, was the chamber event, the Art, Wine and Music downtown. The weather was pretty good. So I did a shift on Saturday and Sunday in the booth, and it was busy. We had perfect location, so we could see the main stage, which was nice. If you want to listen to the music, but we were kind of the information booth, which was helpful for a lot of reasons. And a lot of these little small, these little notices, people were taking those, and Jen was there and Liz was there and other volunteers were there, and people were taking those, you know, they took the brochures, but they said, oh, especially the Barbie movie. Jen was marketing the heck out of that. It was fun. The 2 hours went very quickly, and people were coming up. You know, there a couple of people asked me specific questions about senior center and one other question, but it was a great event, and they've got the booth right there. It's next to the city one, and then there's State Pleasant Hill or whatever it's called now. So there was a lot of support, but just a lot of interest in coming up, and kids wanted to spin the wheel and you give them candy or little toys, but it worked out great. So that was a lot of fun. Then the last one, of course, was the conference last week, which was, I just thought it was really well done. So that's all I have. So with that, I'm gonna adjourn this meeting at 8:18 p.m. See you all on June, whatever it is. Looks like 13th. Okay.
Have fun in Maui. Me?
Yeah, have fun. You too. Maui bound guys.
So what's wrong with the AC?
No idea, it was not working, I mean, it was down to like 79.
Working, Sandy.
It is not working.
That was warm.
So my oldest son is climbing El Cap tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. That's super cool.
Pretty cool.
No, I mean, not